Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode here, Facebook Live. Both Ben McCoy and I are here. Ben, thanks for being on the show today.
Hey, it's great to be here, David.
So Ben and I actually have had a friendship for quite some time now. He's in one of our video marketing classes. He's doing phenomenal. And I want to just have Ben talk a little bit about himself and then go into some really cool things that are happening within Carlsbad. I live in Carlsbad. Ben, I know you do as well.
I do, yes.
Yeah, so this is pretty exciting and important for us. But first, I just wanted to reconnect on like how we met. Do you remember how we met?
You know, it's a really good question. I've been doing kind of some soul searching in the last 5 hours since. No, I think it started way back when I first got into real estate.
Okay.
You were one of the very first, I would say, the vanguard in video
Nice.
marketing, and I've always, encountered you with listings and even out coming in and talking to agents in our office about video marketing, and watching your business grow over the years has been really exciting. But it even came to a point where I think I remember distinctly, there was a listing I was showing to some clients up in High Valley in Poway, and you recognized my voice before I'd even walked into the kitchen where you were filming a video. I think you remember.
Yeah.
You just shouted across the room, "Is that Ben McCoy?" So I would say it's been
a
4
couple of
years
different
or so.
touch points, huh?
A little bit. It's just memorable,
Yeah,
But,
very cool.
yeah, 4 years.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, it's been a while. I definitely remember meeting you, and I know you do a lot of listings here in Encinitas and all over San Diego, which kind of comes to my next question, which is, how did you get into real estate?
Really good question, actually. It was a career change that I really thought over and discussed, with my family at the time. When I got into real estate, I had 2 very young children, and it was an issue with wanting to be closer to home, not traveling so much, and then also experience with what my background is, both with my family and my wife's family, being deep real estate investors, and having a really positive experience with real estate investing, and working within the commercial and residential markets. Everybody saw me as a more of a natural in this field, and I myself wanted to have a little bit more flexibility and income. And I'm happy to say it's been a very successful transition. And so my drive was to do something that I love, working in a county and city that I love.
And you said how long you've been doing it now?
Actually, I'm newer, considering I will be officially in the company with Sotheby's for 5 years in September.
Nice.
Late August, yeah.
5 years, that's pretty seasoned. How long do you have to work in real estate to be considered seasoned?
Most people will tell you after 5 years, you'll know if you're going to be successful or not. So
Nice.
Nice. We'll see if that bottle of champagne comes out on the 5-year mark.
Well, I know you're doing a lot of marketing stuff, which we can talk about in a little bit, but not a lot of agents do what you do. Obviously you have a passion for video as well. So I know that you do some of your own videos. You're also doing other sorts of videos. In our class, we have this goal of creating 48 videos in a year. And I know you've created some really cool pieces, which actually made me want to have you on the show, which is really, I want to talk about some of the things that are going on in Carlsbad. But before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about your passion. Obviously it's real estate and video, but what makes you passionate about what you do?
3 things. One, being what I call a change maker it's a high altitude classification, but there's few things in our world, in our lives, that change somebody's trajectory in lives as much as home ownership.
Sure.
And being able to have such a profound influence on somebody's life, helping them get their dream house, no matter if it's the first time home buyer, coming up with every penny to get the down payment to afford a house to the seasoned investor who's got multiple properties. That to me will never get old.
Mhm.
That's really what is my daily reminder of why I work as hard as I do, is to continue to have that positive impact on people. And also, I see myself as being one of those ethical agents that really show people what a real estate agent is supposed to do, what a
Mhm.
real estate agent is supposed to do for his clients, and that there really is a difference. And determination and commitment to your client is not automatic. And I work to be able to show that and to demonstrate to people what our industry is and what it can be.
Nice. Now, I didn't even it didn't occur to me till right now, but I never really asked you, if you wanted to kind of state, in clarity what you do, how long you've been doing it, having like a little segment of who is Penn McCoy. But obviously, you're a realtor. You've been doing it for 5 years or so. Would you say you're a professional marketer as well, right?
You have to be in this market. Any real estate agent that says that they're not a marketer,
No.
I would invite them to show me what their numbers are. You're not doing your listings any good if you don't know how to market.
Sure.
It's something I've had to teach myself, and then continue to teach myself as things change. And digital marketing really is, I think it's been and will continue to be the forefront. But I also, with my company, with Pacific Sotheby's, we have owners that are still really invested and believe in print marketing and print campaigns, which I see a direct influence on our market share and our sales.
Sure.
I can speak safely with being able to say I've sold listings out of the newspaper ads that we run, and that our company really invests to keep us in front of. But yeah, marketing, you have to be able to
Sure.
convey a story about a property in a succinct manner, but one that appeals to the broadest market and to the person who's going to want to purchase that property. So telling a home story, being able to understand the background, the love that homeowner has put into their house to make it what it is unique. There's a lot of people that they'll try,
Right.
and writing content and being able to convey that story on listings and showings makes a big difference.
Now, you've been around for a while now. You've obviously survived being a realtor. So, how what would you say maybe you attribute your success to?
Well, that's a really good question as well. There's two factors. One, I was been fortunate when I started off my career. I've been with the same company since I was newly licensed. And that's Pacific Sotheby's International Realty.
Okay.
They have a really strong, really strong determination, and I use that word a lot, but goal to grow new agents who commit to the rigorous mentor program that they run, to develop and hone a luxury experience, or a luxury agent. So I'm a product of that.
Nice. So you were in the mentor program.
Well, now I actually, because of my success and because of my skills that I've demonstrated, Pacific Sotheby's International Realty has actually placed me as the mentor director for the Carlsbad office, and I've been in that position for a little over a year now. So the rewards are deep. They're it's a completely different ball of business, as I call it. I still have my personal business, but now I'm also responsible for developing and growing and teaching brand new agents who are new to the industry in the same position I was, to acquire that success. And
that's awesome.
It's one of those things where it's rewarding. I didn't know how rewarding it would be until I actually really started the position, but I have a great management team that trusts me and helps guide and encourage as well.
That's awesome. So you went through the program, you excelled, you succeeded. Now you're giving back, and you're a mentor. and you're able to help these individuals who are new to real estate develop the right skills, know the know-how, or actually know what to do. They don't have to figure everything out by themselves.
Correct.
That's great support.
It's one of the unique programs, and it's actually unique not only to the industry, but also to the Sotheby's International Realty brand. We're one of the few Sotheby's International Realty affiliates that does hire new agents. With the benefit, though, is that we get to teach and train to be that Sotheby's International Realty agent. So
sure.
We have agents that have come over from other companies that were on their mentor programs and have now become successful through our training, and it's fun. We have a really good group of people. Nice. You become friends with them, and as you should in this industry, but you develop a really close working relationship and help build an ethical, marketing successful agent.
Right. Yeah, and just to think of how many people you can impact. And obviously that, real estate can, I know some agents who, a lot of people actually who they're realtors and they say they're realtors. And then you have, who do it part-time. And then you have those who work it full-time. And it's kind of nice that you're able to help somebody who wants to do it full-time and really see them blossom, really see them succeed. So that's rewarding. I could definitely see why you do that. Which kind of makes me want to talk a little bit about our class, right? Like I've thoroughly enjoyed having you in our class. You're great, you're a great student of video, which I'm also a student of video, obviously, always. You never stop learning. You never stop buying stuff.
The gear list has actually stopped. I've had to put a halt on the gear list. You get to the point where it's you perfect your craft and the equipment will follow. Totally. Or the saying is, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, which is a great segment or a segue into, hey, what are you doing now with video? I saw your videos because obviously we're in the class and we're talking about video marketing, creating content every week, and you created some really cool pieces of content, video specifically around a couple of things. Yeah. At some point, you talked about the food hall, the Windmill Food Hall. You talked about the new Sinopolis going in La Costa. So, let's talk about those things.
Okay.
If we I don't know much about it. I know enough that I know it's happening, but I don't know enough where I can talk, probably like you. And I just wanted to give, people who are listening, who are watching the podcast, listen to podcasts now or future, hey, this is an example of somebody who's taking video and you're becoming an informant, a governor, so to speak, right, of an area. You're talking about what's going on in the neighborhood. You're talking about what's happening in the community. So you're not just a bystander. You're an active community member, which I think you're exemplifying very well, and using video to do that. So I just wanted to just have you talk about those things that are going on, and we can obviously have some links below where people can see the videos you've done and can find out more information. But so what's going on?
Well, so the two. And again, you can never do enough video. If you look at my wish list, it's ever growing, but business comes first. The first two projects that I really kind of sought out are in our backyard. So we all know La Costa's Town Square. That was a really fun video to do because I have friends that have lived in the La Costa Town Square vicinity, La Costa Oaks, and some of those other areas. As long as 14 years ago, when I launched that video talking about the Sinopolis update, everybody was like, wow, that's finally coming to fruition. I mean, the comments below the video were really interesting because we've watched this project go through development, the proposal, massive grading. And so now it's really exciting to see this town square become an even more desirable evening destination. The movie theater is kind of like the anchor for better restaurants, fun things for kids to do.
Are they getting rid of the one in that other location, or what's going on
No,
there?
this will be the third in San Diego
Wow.
County. So we're kind of, yeah, it's we're really lucky, and it's a larger count screen size
Uh-huh.
than what's in Plaza Paseo Real, which is by Aviara.
Okay,
You'll know
got it.
where La Costa Coffee Roasters is.
Sure.
That's a 6 screen. What they're building in La Costa Town Square is an 8 screen. They're
Okay.
scheduled to have it open, from what I understand, by Christmas. So they want to have it completed by the end of this year.
Got it.
And they've said that they're on track to do that. The last time I stuck my head in there and talked to one of the foremen, no more rains, they can kind of speed things up. So that'll be really exciting. It's going to be a great addition to an already active destination. And basically, people are excited, and there's no signage up on the project, so people really don't have any clue as to what it's going to be.
I didn't even know. Yeah.
Yeah, and so finding that out. And then the second project, which I did a video on back in March, was the famous windmill over by the Carlsbad outlets.
Right.
We know it, we've seen it back when it was the original Pea Soup Anderson's.
Man, that's been forever.
The second location, and it's a really exciting, basically culture changer that he's trying to implement. I talked to the owner. His influences are, if you've been to Napa, they have a really large public hall up there that has, smaller little food stations. A really successful demonstration of it was actually, we just got back from the East Coast and spent a week in New York as well.
Right.
In Brooklyn, they have a place called Time Out that we went into. You go across the river, and anybody who knows Dumbo now knows that it's the place to go. There's like 140 restaurants within this small crucible. It's really cool. But there's this food hall that this concept with the windmill is trying to mimic, where you can walk in and there's sushi, Mexican, a bakery, a coffee shop, and you just have these big public tables where you eat whatever you choose from these smaller vendors. So the windmill here in Carlsbad is going to mimic that. I think he's got slots for between 12 and 14 different vendors.
Nice.
The biggest time delay, I believe, is just the amount of repair work that they have to do to this existing structure. So I actually can't really talk too much about the inside, because when I was filming, I understand he's got proprietary relationships in place with some of the news companies.
Got it.
So I can only just talk about like the timeline, and I think they're wrapping it as quickly as they can. I'm always waiting for the day that the windmill starts to turn and to kind of know that we're getting ready for it to open.
So we're basically, what you're saying is we're getting very inside scoop right here. We're like getting the information that nobody else is getting at this point.
From what I can say, I've kind of gone as far as I could. I have video and stuff of what the inside looks like, but I'm not allowed to release it. I don't even think I own it or have it on my cameras anymore, but it's going to be really cool. The artist who did the Charlie Brown painting out in front also did a lot of the work for like Kabu out in front. And it'll just be a really neat addition to an already bustling culinary scene that North County is becoming. I mean, we know Encinitas is fantastic. It's been built out for 5 or 6 years. Carlsbad Village is really starting to kind of go through a renaissance again. And now we're seeing Palomar Airport Road Corridor coming into place, with the Bressi Ranch phase 2 that just finished, where we have the Johnny Pancake. We have Sandwich Place, and actually we just tried
the Sprouts.
Yeah, even the Sprouts in Bedmo, right?
Man.
People, and it's great because we have a build out of all the housing that's finishing in Bressi Ranch. We've got a lot of more businesses that are coming north and relocating to Carlsbad, and these are all hubs and destinations that those employees and the homeowners can go to.
Good, nice. Yeah, that's great. I mean, you've inspired me to find out more information about what's going on, and it's cool that you're putting out these these snippets of like, hey, this is what's going on. And I wish all my the class attendees did that. I think it's such an opportunity And it's great because, I know in class we teach about just using your iPhone, but it's cool because you can do your iPhone, you have some equipment as well, you fly drones, so all that's cool.
Yeah.
Which kind of goes into my next question, which is, I know you're using video, you're doing video. How are you currently using video?
As much as I can. In fact, this morning, I'm always looking for that either curated content that we're able to use or stuff that I can produce myself.
Mm-hmm.
For listings, it's absolutely, I can't emphasize it enough what video does for my listings. And I always go back to telling the story, but the most recent listing I had was a gated house where you could not see anything beyond basically the driveway. And anybody that was driving by the house would never understand what was going on behind it. Photos wouldn't have done it justice, although we did shoot some amazing twilight photography. And I can go into that later, but this is a video-centric cast. So being able to walk through and show people what lies beyond, enough to give them a taste and want more, really is the goal of what my videos are. It's to help tell the story. It's to encourage people to want to dig deeper, but not so much that they rule out a listing and don't want to come based on giving them too much, right?
Right.
You want
right.
My famous lines, and my wife will see this, but you give them what you want, give them what they want, leave them wanting more.
Yes.
And it works in theater and it works in real estate. I'm not saying that we're theater because we're fully disclosed, but it really is, every property is unique. Every homeowner is unique and has such a great story to tell about their property because there is pride. And when you get buyers excited about that, when it becomes an emotional connection, that results in a higher value offer, and it results in a much more smooth closing when you have that interest, not only just in the value of the home, but in the stomach is what I call it, in the heart.
Nice.
So video is important.
You're using that for your properties. How
Yes.
else are you using video?
Well, you've seen the community videos that I've been doing. My goal is to start doing more and more for each open house that I do, even if it's just a smaller pop-up video.
Sure.
It's a streamlining process to be able to tell more about even where I am. Market updates are key. I like to think that people would watch a short video of me in it, talking about where we are with current interest rates, market, some of the questions I'm always asked, but then also eventually having the space to talk about things that go wrong, to educate sellers and buyers as to, not every transaction is perfect. We don't discuss the ugly sides of escrow, but sometimes to be able to help prepare buyers and sellers as to, this is really what can happen. This is what happens if the buyer flakes out on day 22.
Right.
Things like that. And have question and answers where people can send in prepared answers or prepared questions and I can give them answers, or even just having experts, sit next to me and talk.
Right. I mean, I think anytime you have video and you're able to blend education, something that's educational and something that's entertaining, I think that's probably a sweet spot, right? Because you're able to do both. Some people just entertain, some people just educate, but if you're able to do both and be entertaining as you're educating, which I think your videos are doing, and I'm at your Facebook page right now. I was trying to find the video. I think you just posted it on our private class group, but
no, it should be up there.
Okay. Cool.
Go ahead and scroll down. I have a couple pinned at the top.
There you go. Okay, I see it now.
So that's the Sinopolis video.
Very cool.
Then there's the rest of the,
nice.
My usual market stats and stuff like that.
Yeah, I see you're doing.
And then that's the sold. That was the listing I was telling you about with the gated. I call it the Garden of Eden almost. It was.
Sure.
Even when before I had a chance to visit the property, when the seller called me, I had no clue what to expect. The aerials that I had seen on Google Earth did not do it justice. and the more I looked at it, I was like a little curious. I'm like, okay, but then when I walked through the gate, I got so excited, and it was a lot of fun to
Mm-hmm.
shoot.
And you
But all
sold
of my
that? Oh,
listings
yeah,
are.
another home sold. Yeah, less than 4 years.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I don't want to spoil too much in the video, but in the description's pretty, accurate right there, so I don't need to
Mhm.
rehash it.
Sure, it's very cool, very very cool. Hey, so what? So I know we kind of started a little late, and the reason I'm dressed like this is because I have to go do some filming, and I know you got to get back to work. But I appreciate you being on the show today. Um, I wanted to just, if you can tell me, are there any challenges or within video itself, that I love asking this question because it gives me just good feedback on what you're doing, where maybe we can come in and solve some problems or some challenges.
Well, for me, the challenge really is just time.
Hmm. Sure.
Time to
Yeah.
shoot, yeah, time to shoot, time to plan, and then time to edit. Um, my days are pretty blocked out, so it's just a matter of meeting that time, and then also if I'm outside waiting for the weather. But
Hmm.
content, I don't really have an issue with. It's more
Just the
about
time.
time. Yeah, we can't make more of it.
Yeah,
So
and it's kind of hard because it's not like it's something you could necessarily outsource either, because you need to be involved in the creation of that, right? So you being on camera or you documenting what's going on like you've done in these videos. So it's almost like, where do you find the extra time, right?
yeah, and you mentioned outsourcing. The potential would be, as time allows, would be more behind the scenes crew. But
Mhm.
I'm fortunate. I have an 8-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old daughter who are very, very stoked on photography and all things like camera gear. So I'm hoping at some point I'll be able to get them out and then let them hold the gimbal,
Nice.
and mic up, one mic, one gimbal, and see if we
Yes.
can do a 3-man band kind of, shoot.
your your kids become your camera crew.
They've asked. It's just more a matter of, again, it's their time too. They're busy little girls.
Yeah.
But that would be the thing that I could possibly work on for timing, and then just editing is my big, another
Yeah,
thing we
for
could
sure.
outsource. But again, it's time and money. So
Sure. And
so
so,
far it's been great.
what's that?
So far, everything that was covered and that we review and go over in the class has been relevant. It's helping enhance my platform. Some of the behind the scenes things in terms of like blogging and running multiple websites are things where I'm really kind of starting to branch out, because I think I've got the equipment, technology, and content down. It's more of just how to broadcast it.
Mm, broadcasting it.
Yep.
Now, any success stories you want to share with us?
Bragging, no. But I
Well,
would
I'm
say
asking you to, so I guess if give yourself the permission.
I take credit for setting records when I do.
Uh-huh.
And I think that video has a lot to do with that. I've watched other homes in the same neighborhood that I've had record-breaking listings take place, that don't sell as quickly or at all.
Mhm.
And knowing that, like, if I was involved in the beginning, I would have possibly had a different outcome on that. But that's, again, markets are different, homes are
Mhm.
different, everything's unique. I'm just thankful that I'm working in a really good region, Southern California. Everyone wants to live here.
Mhm.
The market's still really strong. I'm thankful that I work for the best company in San Diego County, Pacific Sotheby's International Realty, and for Sotheby's International Realty, being
Mhm.
able to say I'm an SIR agent is something I carry on my chest and with pride.
Nice, nice. Where do you see yourself the next 5 years?
Oh, the question, the interview. uh, Hopefully looking as young as I do now,
Nice.
and then would be doubling my current production, and then I will say also possibly in a more of a management role, leadership role as well.
Okay, that's cool. So more leadership, more obviously you want to grow your team, your how much volume you're doing, but you also want to maybe do some sort of management role.
Yeah, something where it's a little bit more leadership and more impact on production of other agents as well to help that,
Cool.
and then have an influence and have a better, more success. One can't not hope for success.
Sure. No, that's very true. Hey, Ben, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for the invite. It's been a lot of fun.
I know. It was kind of condensed version today since we both have appointments coming up. But
no, it's not.
Really appreciate you being on the show and sharing your knowledge. Thanks for being in the class as well.
Absolutely, and again, it's been a pleasure working in your class and out in the field. We have that very similar eyesight, I think, and so you're definitely an influencer, and I think that's it's been a lot of fun. So I have to give you a lot of congrats on the success of your business, and I know you're expecting your second as well, so it's gonna light the fire for more income. I mean, we're all in the same boat.
And you have two girls, right?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
And
so
I wouldn't change it for the world.
Soon.
We'll swap notes on that off camera.
Hey, so
this is still brown in 5 years.
Oh man, I gotta wear this hat already, man. I mean, I gotta hide the salt and pepper.
Yeah, wear with pride. But no, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on, and we'll cross paths again this week.
Yeah, we'll see you in the last day of class. Now, where's the best place people can connect with you, can go find out more information?
Great question again. So my Facebook and Instagram pages are the primary interaction I have with my clients. I think you've got links to that.
Yeah, I see it right there for Ben McCoy Properties.
Yeah, I have secondary links off of my website, which is benmccoyproperties.com.
Okay.
And I'll change that to point to different things as needed. But my main thing are social media, so Instagram and Facebook. And then also they can always call me, 760-331-3138. That goes straight to my phone, text, email, call. I'm pretty much available year round.
Yeah, as long as you're not putting your kids to sleep, right?
Exactly. And then it's just, I'll get back to you. But that's the primary.
Get back to you real quick.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. Hey, thanks again, Ben. I'll see you later on this week. Appreciate you and your time, and looking forward to watching your continued success.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
All right, man. Have a good day.
Thanks, David.
All right, bye.
Bye.